Another measure is protein for flights and hatching. This is a protein preparation. It is known to cut muscle protein in sport. For muscle catabolism. And you need this protein somehow quickly rebuild this muscle. If we rebuild an athlete incorrectly, it leads to microtraumas and injuries. And most often this player ends his career faster than he started it. In Poland, it has rubbed off so that young pigeons, which make top competitions, are usually not very interesting ace pigeons. They say so. Most often those pigeons that do not fly or will do some of the last two competition flights, we place more hope in him. This is utter nonsense. It's just another story made up of made up. Our pigeons that fly from 100 to 360 kilometers, the best pigeons for young pigeons are also the best pigeons for old pigeons. I think that this superstition in general, this stupidity comes from the fact that we simply exhaust our young pigeons. We are not able to rebuild them well. We fly to the mark, we cut these muscles. These pigeons are on fire and these pigeons don't show up for the old flyer anymore. This is a mistake of breeders related to poor nutrition or bad supplementation. We start breeding as usual. I have yet to see a skinny child who would get 10 points in the delivery room. A newborn baby is just such a typical Michelin man. He's such a typical fat guy and then healthy babies grow out of it. They have the most micronutrients in fat, which cause the perfect development of this newborn baby. It is the same with pigeons. A pigeon that is already skinny when young, it will never get anything interesting. The pigeons are meant to be really like a plump pear and these pigeons are thriving. And a preparation that supports the development of these lovebirds is protein. The dosage is provided in the package insert. I am giving it to the breeding farm. These pigeons are definitely growing better. I also give this amino acid which makes the pigeons look better. There is really a difference between a pigeon and a pigeon. You have to see it. These pigeons are really meant to be plump pears. And then it makes sense. If there are any skinny pigeons, just take a look at pigeon auctions. What pigeons are sold? Some are such noodles, and some are skinny. I do not know who is buying these skinny guys. They can simply have a pedigree like a fairy tale, but it won't work. We wish we hadn't deceived ourselves. So my pigeons know this protein is mode. This protein will cost you too. There is no other protein left. Only the same protein is used in the racing loft. That is, if there was a difficult flight, if there was protein catabolism. It is known that we prepare pigeons for the so-called dash. Whoever flies category A or middle distance category beyond some reserves or on large fat masses, it is known that it will not bounce anything up front. And if we fly on the line, we have to help the pigeons to rebuild them. If there was a tremendous physical exertion and these pigeons really worked hard, for example, flying against the wind or flying sharply, in that case, we, the breeders, have to rebuild them. It is known that feed first of all, and then only nutrients. So we give this protein after the flight, for example, or on Monday when there was a sharp flight. You can also serve it on Monday first. This protein is being served somewhere. We are far from that, because there is such a new story that everyone wants to replace pea or legumes with protein. This is another story that is not from this world at all. Because the peas are not that scary as much as we would read. Let me give you such an example. We used to have a pigeon like this, we learned. These were some of our first flights, And sometimes the pigeons are smarter than ourselves. It was our pet. There was a flight of 300 kilometers or 270 kilometers, and after the arrival the pet came, our rec gave him a bucket full of food. We wanted to see what he was going to eat. I thought some corn or something. Look, that pigeon was eating peas. So it just flew in from a fast flight, it was made to the mark, and it needed to rebuild its protein reserves. And that pigeon was smarter than us. Because I would probably have given him some corn. As you can see, we fly, we do not avoid feeds that have some pods or peas in them. It is known that there is no need to overdo it, but we are not afraid to apply. We do not replace food with nutrient, only this conditioner is supposed to help us. This is the general rule. I am glad that there were some calls. Now I will not answer them after the movie. Because I have to deal with pigeons and breeding work. But one of the breeders called and said there was lactose in this protein, and this lactose is so bad. Because they extract from the whey fractions. I am asking now, ladies and gentlemen, you are serving yogurts, buttermilk, somehow the pigeons survived. This is A+. And suddenly someone read that there is lactose in this protein and there is already anxiety. It is very good that someone starts reading labels and leaflets at all. Because usually most of you don't read magazines or brochures. He gives the preparation as he wants. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let us not be dramatically inclined to this anymore. In addition to that, proteins, so are the broader amino acid fractions used in the production of this protein, which are supposed to help the pigeons, not harm them. You may not know it, but amino acids help you use a well-chosen cream. It is better to use it, because it is about 60% than normal. Also, there are many such stories supporting the entire process of feeding or rebuilding. In these supplements, we focused on the so-called post-flight reconstruct, because it is known that if we do not make mistakes and these pigeons will be rebuilt better, it is known that we will gain, not lose. These supplements were not meant to replace pet food, and that is their story.